Fetlife has the potential to 10x or even 20x your fans and earnings on OnlyFans, especially if you're sick and tired of the same old trend chasing bullshit on Instagram or TikTok and not getting any views from copying cringy, oversaturated ideas. If that's how you feel right now when it comes to marketing on OnlyFans, like you're just stuck and badly want to increase your fans and money, then keep watching this video. I always talk about in all my videos about being niche and brand focused as a creator. But what if you already feel like you're niche focused? Or maybe you want to double down on the idea of catering to a small subset of people in order to generate die-hard fans. With Fetlife and what I'm about to explain in this video, it's very, very possible to exponentially increase your traffic, especially if you're focusing on a specific niche and playing all your cards right. In our agency, we do this with all of our extremely niche-focused creators because it greatly helps their earnings. And if you're a creator watching this video right now and looking for help too, book a call in the pinned comment of this video or just hit me up on Instagram. But what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna explain exactly how we do it, ranging from the setup process, the overall strategy, funneling, and the precautions that you need to be aware of. So make sure you watch this video all the way through. But first, let me explain what Fetlife is and why it should matter to you as an OnlyFans agency or creator. When it comes to Fetlife, think of it like a Facebook for kinky people. It's a community platform where fetish and BDSM people hang out, join groups, share posts and stories, and organize events. But here's the important part and why it should matter to you if you're running OnlyFans. Fetlife isn't just some random forum. It's literally a predominant platform in the sexual online ecosystem, just like OnlyFans. That means your audience is already primed for conversion. They're open to kinks, niches, and spending money on experiences. This matters because if you're running a dom page or a foot page or a BDSM content or some other page with roleplay dynamics, for example, these types of people and audiences are likely not going to find you on TikTok, but on Fetlife, they're already looking for this exact thing. One important thing to note as well. You can't just run in there and drop your OnlyFans link on day one on your brand new Fetlife account, or any links to Instagram or any other indirect funneling right off the bat either. That literally will get the account banned immediately. You've got to treat it like a community and use the platform as intended for a good amount of time before directly funneling to OF. In other words, give value on the platform, interact, earn trust, and then funnel later. But let's talk about the setup now. And I'll actually jump in and share my screen and give you a super brief overview of the setup in just a sec. But first, what you want to do before you even get into Fetlife is you need to use a confirmed, safe, high-quality proxy and have it set up on an anti-detect browser. And if you can't do that, as a last resort, outsource it via a mobile device. But generally speaking, you have to use one clean IP per account. Also, if you use two Fetlife logins or instances, even if it's on the same browser profile of your anti-detect browser, you're putting your account at risk, since their monitoring system will likely flag you, even if you're on the exact same proxy and profile. So if you do run this via proxy for outsourcing purposes, you need to create a system of protocols where nobody else opens the profile unless they're 100% sure that the profile is closed on any other devices. So, use a dedicated proxy with one account and one login session only per proxy. Or, as a backup, maybe do it via mobile device. However, the success rate on mobile isn't really that great in our experience. But don't take shortcuts here. This even applies to verifying the account, which I'll talk about here in a bit. When it comes to the profile itself, keep it fetish aligned. No generic girl next door, since GND doesn't do too well here. You want to look like you actually belong in that kink community. Fill out the About Me section of your profile with personality and fetishes, not just some sales copy or some chat GPT bullshit. Upload photos that are suggestive but community friendly. Think fetish themed, but not come by my OF or come subscribe to my OF or something like that. When it comes to the daily tasks, I'll give you a little bit of an overview here, but this is basically what you or your VA should be doing on a day-to-day basis when it comes to running Fetlife and growing on Fetlife. You need to join groups in your niche on a regular basis, comment very thoughtfully. Obviously, don't just spam bullshit every day. Post once per day, even if it's just some sort of status update or fetish themed selfie. Engage in Q&A thread discussions. These are really, really important. I'll talk about these well in a little bit later in this video. And make journal entries very, very often. Respond to your DMs as well all the time without selling. Remember, don't funnel people. This is a community, so don't use this for funneling yet. And then make sure you like comments of other people on discussions related to your niche. That's how you'll get followers really, really quickly. This is the grind phase. You're not there to convert yet. You're building a presence, reputation, and trust with the platform itself. But let's actually get in here and actually show you guys. I'll pull up my screen here and show you the setup process and point everything out to help illustrate my point and even give you guys some basic examples of journal entries and discussions to engage on when you're on Fetlife doing your daily tasks.
Cool, guys. So here we are. So what I have here in front of me is that I have basically a bunch of different information that I've taken from a bunch of different SOPs and just our daily day-to-day tasks that we give our VAs who do the Fetlife work for us, right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to very quickly run through this entire process, right? And run through some of the prerequisites as well before getting into this. So one thing you do need to have is you need to have a photo, right? You need to have a photo that you're ready to use as your profile picture for the page. The proxy profile, I actually am in a proxy profile right now. You need to make sure that nobody else has it open on any other devices, no matter what. That's a huge rule every time on Fetlife forever, right? As long as you're trying to run Fetlife, that is a #1 rule. You need to have a Gmail. You need to be doing this on a computer, of course. You need to have your legal photo ID ready. I think you can still get verified without the ID. I think it's something recent, but whatever. You need to have enough time to actually do this all in one sitting. The entire creation process, the verification, everything should be done in one sitting on the proxy. We usually give this to our creators to do it directly on the proxy from a computer. All very, very important. Then, of course, once you're done, make sure you fully close out of the profile, right? So I have everything set up here. I'm already logged into the Gmail that I'm going to use for this. And then this is fetlife.com, right? Really, really simple. I have it set up on this proxy. In order to create an account, you simply just press join Fetlife, right? And it'll ask you a series of information in order to get it set up, right? One hack. So like I told you already, it usually takes a little bit of time before you start funneling on Fetlife. So if you want to get some sort of benefit while you're growing the account and getting that trust score up and getting your status on Fetlife as trusted, set your name as the same as the OnlyFans and all your other socials, right? So if my name on OnlyFans is Patrick Fucks, 12, then that should be my Fetlife username, right? Set everything else exactly how you would. And of course, the more unique, the better, right? So do whatever you want to do. Like, just put whatever directly aligns with who you are. And like I said, the more unique that you are, the better this is going to be, right? So, same thing here, put your date of birth. So let's just say, whatever. Okay. You always want to put the city that you're in. I recommend putting whatever's associated with your faux persona, right? So if you are saying that you live in New York, then you put that, right? New York, United States. The email address, right? So you use this email address. This is an email address that you should hopefully have set up, right? So you use that, throw that right in there. And then of course, just set some password, right? So I'm just going to put, okay. Then you press almost there, right? It's going to ask you to verify some bullshit. So you go through this, the CAPTCHA shit. And then next, guys, this is where you add a photo, right? So I'm going to actually add a photo real quick here. Give me 1 second. And so here's my photo. Very simple. Obviously, you want this to be a niche specific photo and a high quality one. I just literally took a fucking selfie, so whatever. Looks good. Next step, it will go ahead and upload this. Once this is uploaded, it'll actually ask you to enter a code, right? So it'll send something over here, really simple. You enter the code back over here, just like anything else. Once you're in, which will be the next step, you verified your email and you will be into your account. This is where you simply will do an authenticity check, right? This will help verify your account right off the bat. If it does not offer this, you will go to fetlife.com/verify and it'll just go here. And then it'll enable your camera. It'll ask for a government ID and it'll ask you to go through a process. This is very important. You get this done. As soon as you get this done, what you'll do is that you'll get a page that looks just directly like this, right? You'll go through this and it'll say, let's get you verified. Verification pending, right? Takes about a day to get verified. Once this is done, your account's ready to go and ready to start getting built. So it's very important you take all these steps, do this all in one motion, and then right here, close the anti-detect browser fully, right? If you are making the account, then you're ready to outsource this. That's pretty much it as far as the setup goes. Now, I'm going to talk about the daily tasks and overall guidelines on Fetlife. And so scrolling down here, on this sheet, we have taken a bunch of little things that I want to point out here, right? So when you're establishing your account right off the bat, you do not want to start just randomly spam following other users, right? Especially when your account's very, very touchy, right? What's going to happen if you do that is, unfortunately, people are probably going to report you. They're going to think you're some sort of bot or something like that, right? Instead, you need to build your profile by engaging in groups, creating writings, making your account look authentic over this 3 to 6 month period where you're growing through your account to 20K or more followers, right? So when you first get verified, you need to join relevant groups that align with your niche and interests, right? Get in the habit of doing this on a regular basis. So when I look at this profile, so on here right off the bat, it'll literally give you everything right on this page. I'm not going to click anything because if I do, you're probably going to get a bunch of nudity, so I'm not going to do that. But you can easily find this stuff here. You can find what groups you're part of here, right? You can find what posts, if you made any posts, right? This is a brand new profile. This is my garbage profile that I just did. As you can see, it looks exactly like Facebook. It literally looks exactly like Facebook. Like this right here, what's on your kinky mind, on Facebook, it asks the exact same question minus the kinky part, right? Yeah, it gives you all the same things where you can just make a status update, upload a picture, and upload a video, right? Now, you want to join groups, make your account authentic, create some sort of introductory post, right? Get something that announces who you are. So you write that here, get that out there. Start posting content. Participate in group discussions, which I'm going to talk about down here, but get involved in, like, treat it like a community. Use the platform as intended. It's really, really important that you do that during this phase. And I know it takes work, but the payoff at the end is really, really worth it, right? So do all this. And then continue with your group engagement. Like when you get notifications on this platform, right? You want to follow up with them. Like you're going to have a shit ton of notifications, right? And you're going to get a bunch of different people here. I'm going to go ahead and blur this out because we don't want to be just showing random people's profiles, but you're going to get notifications about any responses to any group discussions that you have. And you're also going to get notifications with your DMs, right? We're going to also, of course, want to answer your DMs, right? Now, when it comes to every day, there are tasks that we advise our VAs to do every single day. We're going to post at least 2 pictures or videos or just regular posts with some time in between every single day, right? This has to be some sort of cadence. We don't want to be too predictable because then we could come off as a bot, but that's the same with pretty much any, social media platform. Join groups on a regular basis. Always be striving to find new groups, especially at the beginning, like 3 to 5 per groups per day at the beginning. Like, of course, over time, you're going to run out of groups to join, but get part of a lot of different communities, okay? Create and participate in group discussions. So within these groups, when you create these groups and you're in here, you will actually be able to create discussions within those groups. And actually, that's how you get noticed on this platform, right? If you're very engaging and you write things, you're very creative, you will get noticed and you will get followers very, very fast. I promise you. Creating journal entries. So these are writings, right? So over here, you'll be able to see, you can make status updates, which you should be doing you should be doing everything relatively often, right? But this right here, these writings, these are journal entries, right? And I'll be talking about these here in a second. Make them creative, make them niche aligned, right? Very, very key here. Everything has to be aligned with your faux persona on Fetlife and OnlyFans and everything, right? Now, of course, engage with comments on your pictures or your group discussions, whatever it is, reply. This is pretty much status quo for any social media. Engage with your followers, right? It's kind of an obvious one. And then go to the explore page. Once the account ages a little bit, we usually will have people go into the explore page, which, like any other social media, there's an explore page right here. You click it. I'm not going to click it because it's going to show a bunch of nudity, but you click the explore page right here and you'll get a bunch of different stuff and you can engage in the community, engage in comments and like comments, and people will come to your page that way, right? So I would recommend doing that every single day, but familiarize yourself with this. And, of course, if you want these details like this, I'm literally giving you the answers on how to run this page and how to grow these pages, right? After 3 months, we usually will start responding to DMs. We won't necessarily directly funnel the DMs to anywhere. And then we'll also consider adding, an indirect funnel to some other social media platform, right? This is really touchy though. You do have to be careful. Sometimes after 3 months, it's not even enough. So, 6 months is probably a safer amount of time to do this, but we understand waiting 6 months to start funneling can be not really ideal. But we see it work relatively often around 3 months. You just have to be smart about it. Don't put follow my Instagram whatever, right? Don't do that. Like, just put your Instagram very nonchalantly somewhere, or figure out a way and a unique way to show the Instagram somewhere, because these people will find you, right? Especially if you're running the account well. But yeah, no, group discussions, these are relatively short blurbs that you can write. When it comes to writing these and coming up with ideas, I would recommend using, ChatGPT, but don't just copy and paste ChatGPT, right? You need to make some modifications to make it not look as weird. Then journal entries. Journal entries are usually a little bit longer. Use keywords that are aligned with your niche, right? I really like this one right here. It's really in depth. The longer it is, the more likely it is to be pushed to other people, right? And people will engage with it more. And, just like any other social media, it'll get pushed to non-followers, right? So that's kind of what you're looking to do every single day. And it will pay off if you do this and outsource this to perhaps like some sort of VA to do this work every day. And you will get fans and followers, I promise you.
Now here's where people screw up though. Funneling way too early. Fetlife is a long game. Accounts need to age and grow and be considered legit parts of the community before even attempting to funnel. You need to hit at least about maybe 20,000 followers before you start doing any direct funneling. For some creators, it's 3 months. For others, it's 6 months or even more sometimes. But honestly, you should wait a minimum of 3 months no matter what, no matter how fast you go, regardless of the overall account status too. And while you're slowly growing the account and while you're waiting, you need to make sure, like I already mentioned, to have an aligned username with your other socials and even your OnlyFans, as this will allow you to still get the benefits of growing the account and funneling fans, but just in a very subtle way. What you can do during this time and in the meantime though, is drop subtle hints. Share some lifestyle posts that overlap with your Instagram so fans can make that jump themselves and manually find you on Instagram or other platforms. But make sure, under any circumstances, do not put any links or any ads or anything in your Fetlife posts or in your bio or anything like that. That's a red flag and it'll likely get you banned, even if your account is a couple months old. Once your account is seasoned though, start soft funneling. Like drop the Instagram first without the at. Once they follow you there, then bring them to the OF. You'll notice a lot of people DMing you on IG saying things like, I found you on Fetlife, how are you? That's how you know this strategy is working. Just be aware, nothing is 100% safe on this platform. Accounts still get banned regardless, even if you feel like you took all the necessary precautions. But taking these steps that I just mentioned about waiting several months and growing the account and being a genuine part of the community and not immediately funneling will lessen your chances of getting banned. One thing I will say though, is that this layered funnel is a way safer way to funnel though. For example, going from Fetlife to Instagram or Twitter, and then to OnlyFans. If you try to do Fetlife directly to OnlyFans, instantly, or even after the first 3 months or 6 months or whatever, you're probably going to get banned. Although, after a certain amount of time, it is possible. There isn't a specific amount of time that I can promise it will work perfectly for everyone. We've had some accounts who have a direct funnel directly to OnlyFans, and that's obviously great, but don't count on it for every single account. Remember, the payoff is huge. You're building a pipeline of fetish-specific, high-spending fans. These aren't just casual subs. These are guys who typically become whales as long as you're appeasing their kink. Let me go back for a moment though and stress this again and talk about the precautions you must take, since Fetlife is the easiest platform to get banned on that I'm aware of. And the reason why is because it's literally designed not for OnlyFans traffic. Like, they want to keep people really badly on their platform. The second they sniff you out or hear that you're there to monetize or funnel people somewhere else, especially to OnlyFans, they'll cut you off and just ban you. They don't even give a shit. I've mentioned one of these things already, but just to recap, just some rules to survive on Fetlife are things like only having one account per proxy profile, so you never want to open multiple Fetlife accounts from different creators in the same browser profile. Don't also mass respond to DMs either. That's how you get flagged for spam by either their monitoring system or you just get flat out reported by other people who are in your DMs. Also, don't post the OF links on the profile until the account is fully trusted and aged, which takes a really, really long time. And it's honestly an unspecified amount of time, by the way. You're honestly better off funneling to Instagram or Twitter or some other platform after 3 to 6 months of solid growth. And also avoid running multiple instances of Fetlife on anti-detect browsers on other devices. It doesn't matter. Always only have one instance running at all times. When you want to outsource this work, use a very, very safe, confirmed proxy and separate profile, like I keep talking about. I literally can't mention this shit enough, but it's super important. And use mobile as a backup. You can outsource it on mobile. Now, I will say the success rate on mobile isn't as good. Desktop gives you more speed, and honestly less ban risk overall. And one more thing, never ever underestimate Fetlife's community vibe. If you're fake, you're absolutely done. If you're genuine, you will thrive on Fetlife. And remember guys, Fetlife really isn't for everyone. Let me give you guys some examples of niches that crush and do really, really well on Fetlife. And these are non-generic niches. These are very focused on a very specific kink. So you have DOMs, like financial domination, humiliation, power dynamics, that type of stuff. Goth creators actually do really, really well on Fetlife as well. Race-focused creators are also really good, like Asian creators specifically have done really, really good on Fetlife in the past for us. Submissives, of course, obviously do really, really good. Advertising the desire to be dominated, so you're attracting those dominant fans who are usually pretty good on OnlyFans as well. Feet fetish creators, so creators who make a lot of feet-focused content on other platforms do really, really well here, especially when it comes to repurposing their content. BDSM content creators, bondage, pain play, that type of stuff. Obviously, a lot of that isn't allowed on OnlyFans, but you can still attract those types of fans. And they can sometimes spend on OnlyFans as well. And then roleplay dynamics, right? Basically, Fetlife is built for creators with a kink-specific brand. If you're a generic girl next door creator, I'd probably suggest don't waste your time here. You'll get way more out of TikTok or Instagram or something else. But if you've got a unique niche, Fetlife is a gold mine of high LTV fans. Look guys, Fetlife marketing is not a quick hack. It's a long-term play. You build the account, earn trust, and then you funnel. Do it right and you'll have a stream of fetish-obsessed fans willing to spend 10 times what the average casual sub would ever do on OnlyFans. So if you want to add an extra 0 at the end of the number of subs that you have on OnlyFans, Fetlife should be in your strategy. And as always, if you made it to the end of this video and you're a creator interested in working with us, shoot me a message on Instagram or book a call with us directly with the link pinned in my comments. Otherwise, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I'm out, y'all.